I also remember once I was part of an audience while you were speaking and narrating an incident way back from your youngster days, which changed your life. From being a very flamboyant youngster, taking all kinds of risks, you suddenly changed into a serious professional. I think it'll greatly benefit our audience if they can listen to it. I know it, but I think it'll be a great thing for them to know it.
Thank you, Nikhil. Yeah, actually, when you're a young officer, and I was all of 24 years old, uh, the Gurkhas changed me. My life as an officer changed when I realized the immense responsibility and the immense esteem that we were held up as by our soldiers. And this came to me very clearly one day. But this is one of my personal life changing moments. Uh, Thoughts that changed the way I think. It was in 1982, and I had a young soldier called Dal Bahadur Rai. He was about 23, 24 himself, and unfortunately contracted blood cancer. And he had to be admitted in the hospital, and I would go and meet him. And after a while, he knew that he was going to die. So one day he tells me, he says, Saab, could you do me a favor? I said, yes, of course, Dale. Tell me, how can I help you? And he said, Saab, please go home and meet my mother. Please give her the money that my insurance. And at that time in 1982, he was authorized about 875,000 rupees. And he said, don't allow my elder brother to use that money because he is an alcoholic and he'll waste it away. I am not married, and he has a son called Vasudev. And he says, Vasudev is smart. He deserves to study. Please tell my mother to utilize this for Vasudev's education. And I promised him, Nikhil, that I would go across to his home in a small district in Nepal, in eastern Nepal, called Bhojpur. And I'd give that money to her, and I'll tell her, these were your thoughts and these were your desires. Young officers from Gurkha battalions go on our leave, annual leave, to trek in the recruitment areas of our soldiers. This helps us gain knowledge about the way they live. It helps us improve our Nepali and our interaction with them, as well as gives us a wonderful insight into their lives and what makes them Gurkha soldiers. And that's what brings us closer to them. And in 1983 December, I was allowed by the Indian Army to go to Nepal. And I had another young soldier with me to help me along the way. There is no road that really leads to Bhojpur. And you had to go by bus to a small town called Dhankuta in eastern Nepal, from where you walk about 8 to 9 hours and reach the Arun River, which is a very fast flowing, huge river, and about 6 to 7 hours away. And when we reached that place, it was already 6 in the evening, and very late as far as Nepal was concerned. It was dark. It was the month of December.
It's
It was
extremely cold.
extremely cold. And when we reached the edge point, we realized that the boatmen had already left. So, finding no way by which we could cross the river at night, I told my soldier, I said, why don't we find a place to stay close by so that we can take this boat and go in the morning? So he did. He came back after 15, 20 minutes, and he said, "Sir, a kilometer from here, there's a single house. There's a woman with a small baby. She has only one room. It's a thatched house, but there's a cowshed, and she's willing to allow us to stay in the cowshed." So I said, fine. There was no other option. It was extremely cold, and we had our sleeping bag. So we walked to that lady's house, and we slept in the cowshed. And when we woke up the next morning, I found this young girl. She was maybe about 19, 20, with this baby. She was making a small garland of flowers. It struck me as extremely strange because uh, young women don't allow people inside their houses.
True.
to unknown men, So I asked her in Nepali, I said, Bahini, that is younger sister, why did you allow two unknown people into your house? Weren't you scared that we would do something to you? And she said, Daju, his elder brother, she said, Daju, when I was told by your soldier that an officer from the Indian Army was coming to my house, I felt that God had come to my house. And gods don't do wrong things. And it struck me, Nikhil, that every time, and you're from the army yourself, every time you lead your men into battle, in counterinsurgency, counter-terrorism, you're actually leading them where someone can die.
You almost have the power.
You have the power because that's how you deploy people, that's how you move people. And they trust you with their lives. And here was this soldier whose wife trusted us with her lives. So that's the way, and that struck me, Nikhil, to say that if you're going to be an officer in our army, you've got to be the best officer you can. Because you have the power of their lives in your hands. And your competence or incompetence can lead to the death of many innocent lives.